Imagine what if the voice on the other end of the phone wasn't real? Could you tell the difference between your boss's real call and an AI clone? What if your mother's voice begged you for help, but it was never her? Can you still trust your own ears? When technology can fake them so perfectly, how much money or how much truth could be stolen with just a fake voice? He heard his boss's voice and the room went quiet. The caller ID said the CEO, exact name, exact number. The voice was urgent, clipped, impossible to doubt. Transfer 243,000 euros now. Do not copy anyone, the voice ordered. Sam's hands trembled as he opened the corporate banking app. Everything felt normal, the caller ID, the tone, the urgency. He typed the account number, double-checked the digits, then hit send. The money left the account before the 2-minute callback arrived. By morning, the funds were gone and the CEO was confused. Nobody had called. The voice had never belonged to the CEO. What Sam heard was a digital copy and AI-made voice clone. This is not a movie plot. It happened for real. A few seconds of audio can become a weapon today. Public meetings, podcast clips, conference calls, your voice leaves a trail. Attackers gather those fragments and feed them to AI systems. The models learn your pitch, pauses, rhythm, and signature breaths. Then they create sentences you never said with your exact voice. Scammers combine that audio with urgent social engineering scripts. They study company calendars, vendor lists, and internal hierarchies first. They craft plausible scenarios that exploit trust and speed. Urgency breeds panic. Panic dissolves verification rituals. When someone you trust sounds desperate, your instincts override caution. That's the exploit. AI amplifies trust and turns it against you. Marketplaces now sell voice clones on demand for low prices. You don't need a lab, just access to online tools. The barrier to entry for this crime is collapsing. In one case, a finance team lost almost €250,000. In another, a manager ordered gift cards after a cloned call. Politicians and celebrities face doctored videos and fabricated speeches. For ordinary people, reputational harm and extortion follow the same playbook. Deepfakes are not just for clicks, they are tools of fraud. So what makes a deepfake convincing on the phone? Compressed audio lines, realistic breaths, natural intonation, and context cues. Over a low-quality call, humans fill the missing pieces automatically. Scammers exploit that human pattern matching with prepared noise and timing. They script the exact words your brain expects to hear. They use caller ID spoofing and timely emails to back the lie. Your brain trusts the voice, your eyes trust the number, your hands obey. Stopping this starts with breaking that chain of automatic trust. Step 1. Slow down. Urgency is the attacker's most useful asset. Step 2. Confirm through an independent channel you already trust. Hang up and call the number you have on file. Message on internal chat, ask a colleague for verification, initiate a video call. Step 3. Enforce dual authorization for any significant transfer or action. Require documented approval from 2 different senior people, not a single call. Step 4. Use prearranged authentication phrases for emergency procedures. A short code or agreed phrase that only real people know. Step 5. Train staff with realistic simulations. Practice makes instinctive caution. Companies that simulate these calls see much higher detection rates. Individuals should also limit how much voice content they make public. Turn off auto-publish meeting recordings when possible. Remove unnecessary conference clips from public platforms. Use privacy settings and avoid posting long monologues online. But privacy alone won't stop sophisticated attackers. Detection tools are improving. AI can spot subtle artifacts and fakes. Platforms are building takedown and verification pipelines for synthetic media. Laws are catching up in the US and Europe, but enforcement lags. Cross-border crime is messy. Money moves before law can react. So the strongest defense remains people and process, not just tech. Create a company rule. Any unusual financial request requires an in-person sign-off. Make email approvals insufficient for transfers above a threshold. Log every request, record call timestamps, and keep a clear audit trail. If you get scammed, act fast. Contact the bank, freeze accounts, call police. Document everything. Call IDs, timestamps, text messages, and emails. Small delays and quick reporting increase chances of recovery. For reputation attacks, collect original signed files, watermarked videos, metadata. Authentication services can help verify genuine content for courts and platforms. Don't negotiate with extortionists without legal counsel. Paywalls reward criminals. Talk openly about the risk. Shame makes victims silent and criminals bolder. Share near-miss stories so others learn before they lose money. Remember Sam's hesitation. A split second could have saved him. Imagine instead he had paused and called the CEO's office line. Imagine a secondary manager confirming the order in writing. Imagine company policy had required 2 approvals for large transfers. These small habits break the scammer's script every time. Deepfakes will only get better. Models improve month by month. What seems impossible today will feel routine to attackers tomorrow. But people who adopt verification habits stay one step ahead. Teach your team. Trust your process more than your gut. Teach your family. Verify unusual requests, even from loved ones. If your child calls in panic, confirm the agreed family code. If a friend's voice asks for money, message their known number first. Stay skeptical of urgency, secrecy, and pressure under short timelines. When in doubt, treat any unexpected directive as suspicious by default. This isn't fear-mongering. It's practical caution for a changing world. Your voice online is now an asset and attackers want to monetize it. Protect it with habits, processes, and small technological barriers. Sam lost money because he trusted a voice instead of a system. Don't be Sam. Make doubt your first reflex, verification your second. We'll explore how attackers gather data, build clones, and plan attacks next. We'll look at real forensic signs that reveal synthetic audio. We'll also cover step-by-step company policies that stop these scams cold. Stay with me. The next part shows exactly how the deepfake was built. Because knowing the enemy's method is the best way to beat it. They don't start with hacking passwords, they start with listening. Every clip online is fuel, podcasts, webinars, Zoom recordings. Even a birthday video on Facebook is enough. 30 seconds of your voice is all they need. AI models learn your pitch, your pauses, your habits. The clone breathes, coughs, and even laughs like you. Not robotic anymore, but frighteningly human. But the clone is useless without a script. So scammers study your company like actors study roles. They map hierarchies, collect calendars, track public events. They design the perfect excuse that sounds routine. A fake, urgent supplier issue during shipping delays. A fake confidential deposit during merger talks, then comes layering. A spoof caller ID matches the boss's phone. A crafted email lands in the finance inbox. The voice call follows, urgent, direct, impossible to question. The brain connects the dots, email plus voice plus timing. The target obeys, believing it's real. Attackers sometimes test first with small requests, a few gift cards, a minor transfer. If the victim complies, the big demand follows. If not, they adjust the script and try again. Whole marketplaces now sell these tools. Voice clones, spoofing software, pre-written scam scripts. For the price of a cheap smartphone, you buy deception. Even celebrity packages are sold to criminals. The economy of fraud is thriving in the shadows. But its fuel is always the same, human trust. They rely on urgency, secrecy, and authority. 3 triggers that override careful thought. Don't involve anyone else becomes a powerful command. The instruction itself blocks verification. What feels like loyalty is actually a trap. The silence after the transfer is the only clue. Defenders fight back with friction. Dual approvals, mandatory callbacks, written confirmations. No single voice should move large sums. No single email should trigger urgent action. Culture matters too. Speed must never beat security. Trust the process, not the panic. Deepfakes aren't just after money. Some aim for humiliation and extortion. Fake videos spread online in seconds. Reputation collapses before the truth catches up. Attackers profit from fear, not just cash. And every public recording is ammunition. Awareness is the first shield. Verification is the second. Because when urgency and secrecy strike, only protocol can save you. Stay with me. In the next part, we trace the exact fingerprints attackers leave behind. They began to unravel the crime the morning after. Forensic analysts arrived with headphones and software. They listened to the call second by second. At first it sounded perfect, almost human. Then the small things appeared, barely noticeable. A tiny clip repeat in the middle of a word. A breath that arrived slightly too late. The background noise didn't match previous office recordings. An echo that shouldn't have been there. These were artifacts, fingerprints left by AI. Investigators pulled audio from public sources for comparison. They matched cadence, pitch, and micropauses. Specialized tools visualized spectral differences on a screen. Graphs showed patterns human ears couldn't easily catch. The clone had learned cadence but missed micro-timing. Those micro-timings betrayed the artificial origin. It was like reading handwriting under magnification. Small tremors revealed the forgery, but audio was only one layer of evidence. Email headers told another part of the story. The from address looked identical to the CEO's, but metadata revealed a different sending server. IP addresses traced back to a VoIP gateway overseas. The spoofed email had a forged DKIM signature. Someone had meticulously copied the company's header style. Yet the metadata exposed the scammer's sloppy trail. Banks joined the investigation quickly. Wire routes were traced through multiple intermediary accounts. Funds moved across borders in hours, not days. Mule accounts collected small slices of the payout. Prepaid cards and cryptocurrency converted the cash. By the time authorities asked for reversals, money was dispersed. Recovery became a race against time and jurisdictions. Cross-border law enforcement coordination was slow. Regulations and privacy rules complicated information sharing. Victims felt more than financial pain. There was humiliation, anger, and mistrust in the office. Colleagues questioned how training had failed. Executives wondered what controls were missing. The finance team replayed those seconds again and again. Everyone asked, "How do we prevent this next time?" Forensics offered lessons beyond blame. Record the call and its metadata whenever possible. Use secure VoIP systems that authenticate endpoints. Flag transfers to unknown accounts for manual review. Banks can implement temporary holds on large transfers. Audit trails make it easier to reverse suspicious payments. Every log is a breadcrumb for investigators. There were human stories in the wake of the scam. Sam lost sleep for months after the transfer. He replayed the voice, searching for a clue. He felt betrayed by technology and by his instinct. His CEO apologized publicly and changed company policy. The company recovered partially through insurance and luck. But relationships were strained. Trust was fragile. Legal teams considered civil suits and criminal charges. Proving intent across borders is painfully difficult. Some suspects were anonymous, hidden behind layers of services. Even when identified, extradition and prosecution took years. The legal system lagged behind the speed of fraud. Policymakers started drafting new regulations in response. Banks strengthened their own anti-fraud rules. They tightened monitoring for out-of-pattern payments. They added human review to flag transactions. Some banks required biometric confirmation for high-value wires. Others introduced delay windows to allow verification. These measures slowed criminals but also added friction. Businesses complained about slower payment processes. But many accepted the trade-off for added security. Tech companies worked on detection tools. Models trained to spot artifacts in synthetic audio. Algorithms scanned videos for inconsistencies in face movement. Some tools used blockchain-style provenance for media. Content signed at creation could be verified later. Platforms experimented with automated takedowns for fakes. But detection was imperfect and easy to evade. Training became a frontline defense in many firms. Simulations mimicked cloned voice scenarios in real time. Employees practiced the exact steps to verify requests. These drills created reflexes that saved real money. A simulated voice call that failed to get transfer stopped real theft. Practice made the difference between panic and process. Small changes had big effects. A simple rule, never transfer more than X without 2 approvals. A second rule, always use an out-of-band confirmation method. A third require a recorded video call for unusual requests. These policies forced attackers to do far more work. In many cases, attackers moved on to easier targets. Regulators debated new rules for synthetic media. Some proposed mandatory labeling of AI-generated content. Others sought criminal penalties for misuse in financial crime. Privacy advocates worried about overreach in free speech. Lawmakers balanced deterrence with technological freedom. International cooperation was highlighted as essential. Insurance companies updated cyber policies. Some covered social engineering losses, others did not. Premiums rose for companies with weak controls. Underwriters started asking specific questions about training. Insurance became another lever to encourage better practices. The media amplified high-profile cases quickly. Headlines shocked boards into action. Public pressure forced transparent disclosures. But sensational coverage sometimes caused panic. Balanced reporting helped businesses learn rather than freeze. Technology vendors offered new products to fight back. Voice biometric systems promised stronger authentication. Secure signing tools allowed executives to approve via cryptographic keys. Vendor validation services verified bank account ownership. Adoption took time and investment, but results followed. Communications teams developed response playbooks. They drafted statements to reduce reputational damage. They prepared evidence bundles for platforms and law enforcement. Public messaging emphasized facts and steps taken. Transparency helped restore stakeholder confidence. Victims shared stories to warn others. Their near-miss accounts became training case studies. Open conversation reduced stigma and encouraged reporting. When people report early, banks and investigators can act faster. There were also surprising success stories. A small firm recovered over half its funds after rapid reporting. Cooperation between the bank and a crypto exchange aided recovery. The attacker left a repeatable mistake that investigators exploited. These successes showed that speed and documentation matter, but the risk continued to evolve. Attackers learned to remove detectable artifacts. They used background layering to match recorded environments. They bought more convincing clones and improved spoofing services. The technological arms race continued, faster than many expected. So what did defenders learn that mattered most? Evidence matters. Record everything and keep immutable logs. Friction matters. Make verification easier than impulsive action. Practice matters. Rehearsal turns doubt into habit. Speed matters. Quick reporting increases recovery chances. Policy matters. Simple rules prevent complex mistakes. Sam's company rebuilt its defenses slowly but surely. They documented every call, every approval, and every transfer. They trained relentlessly and tested with realistic scenarios. They accepted that security sometimes slows business. They accepted that was better than losing a fortune. The investigators closed some doors and left others ajar. Some perpetrators were caught. Others vanished into the web. The trail was messy but instructive. The scars were real, but the lessons were clear. We will follow this thread further. Next, we will examine the exact audio fingerprints analysts used. We will listen to the tiniest distortions that reveal a fake. We will also outline the technical tools defenders can deploy today. Stay with me, the story grows more detailed. The attack was not only clever, it was teachable. And when we learn the lesson, we turn the attacker's advantage into our defense. How do you defend yourself when the fake is so real? The answer starts with slowing down. Urgency is the scammer's sharpest weapon. They push you to act before you think. So pause. Even 10 seconds of doubt can break their plan. Verify through a second channel. If the call comes, confirm with a text. If the email comes, confirm with a video chat. Never trust one signal alone. Companies must build rules into culture. 2 people should always approve large transfers. Passwords and approval should never sit with one employee. Split responsibility, force collaboration. Families can also create safe codes. A word or a phrase no AI can guess. If your mother calls in panic, ask for the code before reacting. Technology is catching up too. AI detection tools analyze digital fingerprints. They study unnatural pauses, mismatched tones, pixel glitches. But detection is still imperfect. Governments in the US and Europe are racing ahead, drafting laws to punish malicious deepfakes. But laws move slower than technology. By the time rules arrive, scams evolve. That's why awareness is the strongest shield. Each person trained becomes one less victim. The more stories are shared, the harder it becomes for attackers to succeed. Education spreads like a vaccine. It doesn't block the virus, but builds resistance. Cybersecurity is no longer about firewalls and passwords. It's about people, habits, and choices. Trust must shift from voices to verified systems, from panic to process. The world is waking up to this reality, but the battle is only beginning. Because the next wave of deepfakes won't just steal money, they'll aim to rewrite truth itself. Stay with me. In the next part, we'll see where this dangerous road could lead. Deepfakes today steal money and identities, but tomorrow they could steal reality itself. Imagine a president declaring war on live TV, the voice perfect, the face flawless, yet completely fake. Markets could crash in minutes. Diplomacy could collapse overnight. In America, experts warn of election interference. Fake speeches, fake scandals, fake promises. In Europe, regulators fear disinformation floods. Millions confused about what is true. The battlefield is no longer land or sea, it is trust itself. When people stop believing their own eyes and ears, chaos becomes unstoppable. But here's the truth, technology cuts both ways. The same AI that fakes voices can also expose them. Researchers train detectors to spot tiny flaws, inconsistencies invisible to humans. Watermarking is coming, digital stamps proving authenticity, a way to separate signal from noise. Social platforms test labels on synthetic media, warnings that alert viewers before panic spreads. But no system is perfect. The final defense rests in human judgment. Skepticism is no longer negativity, it is survival. Ask, who benefits if I believe this? Why is the message urgent, emotional, or secret? Simple questions shine light into digital darkness. They slow the scammer's momentum. This is not just about protecting banks. It's about protecting democracy, families, and truth. The future will demand digital literacy. Every citizen must learn the tricks of deception. Awareness is armor. Verification is the shield. Patience is the sword. Deepfakes will get better, but so will we. As long as we question, verify, and adapt, truth will not be lost. So the next time a voice demands urgency, pause, verify, confirm. Because the difference between safety and disaster may be just one calm moment. Stay alert, stay cautious, stay free. The fight against digital deception is everyone's fight.